Hey guys, welcome to a YouTube video. I don't know when I'm going to release this. I don't know if this is even going to be fun for you guys to watch. It's probably going to be my most boring video ever. And Geraldo is probably going to be laughing at me the whole time. But, you know, he's a real gentle guy when he's not licking the camera, you know, especially when he's trying to, like, not lick it. But, you know, definitely wants to show you something. I'm going to be rearranging my collection today, and what I'm talking about is I want to do something that's a bit more unique. Let's pull this around a bit so you can have a look at him. There he is, he's just sitting in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange it to where I can have a bit of room in the top bookcase as I do with the bottom. So I've rearranged the bottom already, but you can notice how I can easily access things. I don't know if this is going to be any fun for any of you guys to watch. I don't know if it's going to be really entertaining. I don't even know what I'm really going to talk about when I do it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking them off my shelf, putting them on the floor, rearranging the shelves, then putting them back up. And then somewhere in all of this, I'm going to have to find room to put one of these shelves. So I might even have to move stuff down here, which I can do right now. But yeah, I just finished doing another video, so that came out a bit earlier. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to look. I don't know how it's going to work. You guys might enjoy it, you might not. I mean, I could put on the biscuit hat. I really could. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to work, guys, and this might work, it might not. But either way, we're just going to like figure it out, and that's going to be kind of cool to do. Because when we're figuring stuff out together, we're always making progress with this stuff. So I'm just going to put these down on the floor right in front of the camera. And I don't know if it's going to be entertaining at all. It could be the most boring video I've ever made. This could take the title for the most boring video I've ever made. But we're going to do it anyways. We're going to do it because progress. And courage. Like Apple says, the reason we've done this, courage. Who remembers the iPhone 7 release when they said, we got rid of the headphone jack because courage? It was just because they needed more money, I'm positive. Sorry, Apple, I love your products. I'm filming on an iPhone right now, so yeah, don't hate me. I would love a sponsorship from Apple if you could give me one. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just do this. Now, one thing I do with my collection, and I haven't shown you guys this process before, I don't even know if I have enough here. Oh yeah, I got some. Let me just show you this process real quick. So I put stuff behind my collection like Blu-ray, old Blu-ray covers, or like even these things I bought a long time ago, old covers. And the reason I do them is they're taped together as well, so they're also not out of place. I don't know why this one's out of place so much, but we can easily fix that. I don't know what's going on with this one. That's really, really out of line. But what I do is I kind of put these behind the collection. So I put them down there. And you can see they kind of will push things forward if I can show you that real correctly. So you can see I've put it down here, and you can see when I put discs in there, it will push things forward. Now, these are Billy bookcases. So when you go to IKEA, they're the biggest ones you can get in terms of Billy. They're 202 centimeters by, I think, 28 centimeters deep. And I put extra shelves in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out a section to move. I probably will move action down because I don't really watch as much action. So I'll probably move the action section down. Let's do that together right now. You can look at my butt, I guess. Don't look at it. You're making me uncomfortable. You're going up a bit. You're making me uncomfortable, guys. Stop looking. But anyways, what do you guys think about like rearranging our collections? We all have a different way to do it. Some people prefer putting them alphabetically with no categories. I keep things in action, you know, sci-fi, all separated. But some people actually like, oh, I'll keep all alphabetically for every category. Some people like that. I arrange mine by category. So I'm very particular with categorizing and figuring out how to do it. So yeah, you'll see how I'm doing this in a second. I'm going to have to kind of, as I said, I've already done the bottom, but now I'm kind of doing the top part because the top part is long overdue for this exercise. And you can give me your ideas on how to do it better. You can give me constructive criticism, I guess. Just don't be too constructive or you might end up in the block zone. Like, there are people who get on my videos and say, you're a, you haven't watched blah, and blah, blah, and blah. I don't know what that's meant to mean, but you guys can figure it out. So yeah, look at that, one whole section cleared. Now what I could do is I can move that up by one shelf, and that should also, what I'll also do is I'll take something like, not a VHS, but I'll take something like a DVD cover, and I'll measure it. I'll measure it against what's over there. I'll grab this old Video Easy thing, or even Pirates of Silicon Valley, which I imported, one of my favorite movies. Let me try to get around all this. I'll put one of them and measure up how I can maybe make that fit. So if I put that there, I can see this maybe needs to go up by one shelf to fit DVDs in there. And you know then, okay, if I go up by one shelf, that'll make a bit of room for DVDs. And that should help me overall in terms of what I want to do. What you can also do is if you've already done the bottom, you can just measure out how many notches there are. So you can just go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or something. So you can measure stuff as well like that. But for this one, I already know it's going up by 1. So let's just get this out and I'll show you how I do that. Now, some of these will be jammed in place because they've been sitting for a very long time. It's just something you're going to have to get used to doing this. I've got VHS behind here. Some Star Wars. I've got an old Jurassic Park tape on VHS. There you go. I didn't even know these were behind the collection. I've got a VHS for Jurassic Park and Digimon. Got some Digimon behind here. Pokemon. Interesting. I've even got Indiana Jones on Blu-ray behind here. See, you find stuff when you rearrange stuff. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Ooh, what's falling up? Something's falling over there. This will happen when you're doing your collection. Things will fall over and not work. But yeah, I don't know what these tapes are, but I'm getting them out. They're coming out of there because they don't belong behind there. And I probably just chucked them behind there in a momentary thing, trying to make room. But they can come out. They don't need to be in there behind things. Let's just put them behind camera. Let's get these Star Wars out. I don't know what these Star Wars even are. I've even got the Powerpuff Girls movie. I've got a bit of thing behind here. Is that everything? I think that's everything behind there. So I've got a bit of everything. Kind of interesting. Quite interesting indeed. But let's see what I can do here. So what I want to do is I want to get these M things out so I can get these little bookcase things out. Move these up by one shelf. And then if I'm correct, what should be able to be done then is, let me just get the Pixar Toy Story out. This may or may not work. Stick with me here for a second, guys. I don't know if this is going to actually work. But if I'm correct, it will work. If I'm correct. That's a big if. And I'm sure, this, as I said, this is going to be one of my most boring videos ever. But you guys are going to love it, I guess. You guys watch anything, don't you? You love all the videos. You hype the channel. I love you guys for it. You don't mind what I'm posting on here. Look at that. I can actually fit a DVD cover there now. That's actually quite cool. Let's bring this in a bit closer. So the idea is actually working. I don't know what just fell there. Some old headphones. I don't know why I've got old headphones off camera. This is how you have to make progress with a collection. So you can see I've got like just a DVD cover. I've just tested it. The scenario is that I can also put and mix things in if I want to. So if I want to have a more broad horror section or whatever, I can put DVDs in amongst it or whatever, or Blu-rays. But for this case, I'm just going to leave a bit of room because I like to be able to put my hand there and grab things out. So I don't have to try to jam it and push things aside and that, you know. That's the idea. Now you can go right back here and watch me do the other shelves. I'm going to do this bookcase first, and then I'm going to make my way along. So if that's something you want to watch. Now, I'm also removing a shelf here, I think. So in this case, I need to remove one shelf. That's going to be quite difficult, but I'm going to put these covers back in place. So we've got a bit of room to do that. And stop looking at my bum. I've told you to stop looking at it. Stop. What will we move down? We might move down biopics. Or do we move down sci-fi? We'll move down sci-fi, I think. And then we'll get rid of the sci-fi shelf. I think that makes more sense. I think that does make a lot of sense, actually. So what I'll do is I'll just put these in there like that because I'm going to be taking a shelf out. And this is what I've done many times. You just have to go like this and then just put stuff on top. And then once I remove that shelf, they'll be standing up then. It also makes ease of having to bend over and constantly have to pick things up off the floor. So yeah, I don't know if this is going to be of any interest to you guys. Maybe you guys learn how to do a collection like this yourself and how to rearrange it. Now the end section is going to be too many, so I'm just going to put these overflow onto something. Maybe onto a box down on the floor. I want to get these out. Theoretically, this should be quite easy now, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that brilliant? Now I've got rid of that one shelf. Now I can get rid of these little things here. And theoretically, Bob's your uncle, and yeah. theoretically they should be able to stand up now. And without issue, there we go. They are standing back up. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that until I actually have them standing back up, but yeah, I'm in the way of you guys, but you'll see them in a second. And then pass these ones off the floor. I've just put down there temporarily. There we go. And then what happens is once I move these shelves down to give the top shelf more room, it'll all fill out like it's supposed to. And what I'm thinking is if I go down, I want to give these DVD room. So what I'll do is I'll measure these up. I can see I don't want to go too light, so I'll go down to that notch. So you know what? These ones I just took out, this will simplify the process for me. Just go up to there, Bob's your uncle, and yeah, just figured out how I want to do this. Put in the next little thing, and they're just these little pegs that come with Billy bookcases from IKEA, by the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing. I'm just putting them in the little tiny holes, and I'll show you the holes because I haven't shown you that yet. So you can see these little holes. I'm hoping you can see them. There's little holes all the way along here. I'm just putting them in and just lining them up. So yeah, as I said, this is going to be my most boring video ever, and I don't know if you guys are actually going to enjoy it, but yeah, I guess we're going to do this together. Yay! Look at us, guys. We're doing it. We're doing something that's been long overdue. And then what I need to do is I need to move that shelf down, but what I can do is I can put this shelf back in and save time. So theoretically, if I went like this, look at that. I think it's going to work. I think this is going to work, guys. I really think this is going to work. And then if I put these back in, these cases, put them back behind, because I want to push everything forward. Now what I have to do is, because there's a little space, I need to also remove this shelf now when this goes out. I would have to maybe consider whether I put these just all on the floor, or for the time being, I could fit as many here as I can, but I think it's not going to be as much as I probably want to. Look at that, that's about a handful. If I do a couple of handfuls here, then theoretically when I get the shelf out, we should be fine. Just move the biopic section. The biopic section will not mind, I don't think. Yep, and then we'll just get the rest and put it on the floor, because there's nowhere else to put them. And yeah, if you guys are really enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate if you hype the channel or whatever. Give me some algorithm support. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty boring, this video. Sorry in advance. I know this video is going to be kind of boring for most of you. I'm just monologuing during it. This is something you can listen to as a podcast, I guess. Even though I don't do podcasts, I think podcasts are kind of cringe at times. But yeah, some podcasts are really good. And this can be one of the good podcasts, I guess. I might even give Joe Rogan a bit of a run for his money, maybe. Highly doubtful, but maybe. Maybe, just maybe. Why not me? So, theoretically, what I've done now is I've created a scenario here where I kind of need to stand everything up and then figure out what I'm doing. Okay, can I do this without everything falling onto the floor? That's the big question, guys. Yes, it's going to work. It's actually going to work, guys. This is actually going to work. But let's get these other things down now. Let's just put them on the floor because there's no room for them anywhere. Put Marvel there for the time being. And Bob's your uncle, one after the other, handful after handful. We're slowly getting more arrangement, what we needed. This is going to be a nice little heartwarming video for everyone to watch. Geraldo is not even on camera, so he can just come and sit. Where can we sit you, Geraldo? There's nowhere for you to sit. Do you want to go with Taylor? You can sit on top of Taylor if you want, but you're just going to fall off there if you sit on top of Taylor, you're just going to fall. I could be watching Bad Bunny. I'm filming this the same day of the Super Bowl. I'm releasing these all over the next week or something, but yeah, I'm filming the same day as Super Bowl. I could be watching a Bad Bunny performance right now, a football game at the Bad Bunny performance. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to work this out. And yeah, let's put this back a little bit so you can see Geraldo off the channel, off the corner there. How am I going to do this? This is the question. I need to also test out how much room I have for DVDs, because the plan is that I merge some DVDs in with this. So if I go down by one shelf, and then that would need, oh no, that's a Blu-ray. What I want to see is the DVD. If I go down by one DVD, then that would need to be there, versus that would need to be there. So what I could do is I could actually split the diff. If I'm not mistaken, if I go on the middle one there, then that will leave a lot of room at the top. If I go there, it's still going to leave some room. I reckon I could actually split the diff. I reckon I could have some box sets on the top. What do you guys reckon? Do you reckon the top shelf should be bookcase, should be some of these sets, move them down into the main bookcase? I reckon I could actually do that. If I went down a bit further, I reckon I could do that. I'm going to try it. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try it. Because that might be really cool for a background. So I'm going to go down a bit further with the top shelf so I can give it some more room to actually do some of that. So if I split the diff here, this should work. In theory. Everything's theoretical with this. I'm a theoretical physicist now. Theoretical physicist Jamie. Jamie Toomey presents. Dealing in all things to do with the universe, including Blu-rays. Hey, scientists like lasers too, you know? And these are optical discs that need a laser to play. I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist of the universe now. Theoretical physicist Jamie. Making the world a better place, I guess. With physical media. Do you guys actually enjoy me talking shit or not? I don't know if you guys actually like hearing me talk shit like that, but I don't care. There's so little room on this shelf. I don't know how I'm going to get them down. I'm probably just going to have to take the whole shelf down, all of them on the floor, and then just have to put them back up after I take that shelf out, I guess. Unless I put them down there, that might actually work. If I just put the horror section down here in this corner where I've got a bit of room, and if they're not falling over, I can move them down there, and then I don't have to bend over and pick them back up. Yay, see? Problem solving, yay. We're great problem solvers on this channel, guys. See, you helped me. Geraldo, see, they helped me. See, I knew doing the video while I was doing this would help. I'm okay in the mind, guys. I'm okay. I'm just talking to Geraldo. Just stick with me a little bit. See, I told you, though. I told you this was a good idea. I told you that they were going to stay here and watch the video with me. See? Positive channel. We do positive YouTube videos now. We don't make a negative anymore. Unless I absolutely have to make a negative, then I will do a negative. But we don't have to do negative videos. We're bigger than that. Hey, Geraldo. Geraldo, we're bigger than that. But yeah, look at this, guys. Doing it one shelf at a time. I don't know if this is going to be too long of a video, but yeah, I think we're just going to have to figure this out. If I go like this, and then I go like this. Ooh. Okay. So I did something there that I forgot to do. I was meant to get that off. There we go. We figured it out. And we are now doing good stuff. If we put horror back up the top, it's going to be a lot of room between the horror, but that could actually be a good sign for me later on. It's going to be a lot of room at the top now. I mean, I could split the diff. I could split the diff. But then that's going to leave a lot of room there. These are the decisions you have to make as a collector. And I think I'm going to leave it there. I think that would actually work. If I went up by one notch, it would mean there's less room, but I could put even oversized stuff like the Disney collection there, if I was not mistaken. I don't know if this is going to work, but would that fit in there? That's too oversized. That is not going to fit. But this is the scenario I'm just trying to test, guys. Some of these box sets here could maybe fit in there. I think that could work. And once DVDs are in amongst it, if I went up by one notch, I think that could work. And if I just have a look at this, there's enough there. I think that's okay. I can even put maybe books at the top. we're going to stick with that. I know some of you are going to say that looks so untidy, but saving I don't have to jam my fingers in there, that might actually be a good sign. We're just going to put horror there for the time being. This is just going to be a placeholder for horror. And then we'll rearrange everything more deeply later on. I don't know what this is going to look like at the end of the day. It might not even look any good. Maybe it won't. But things are falling. That's what you have to do. There's a good chance I could revert back and say this looks ugly and then revert back. But for the time being, that's been the video. And I'll do the rest at some later point. I'm not going to go through and do them more because I've already spent 20 minutes doing this. And I just kind of feel like monologuing is kind of boring. So yeah, I will leave it there. Let me know if you liked this video, guys, if this looks ugly or not. I might put them back up. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I actually quite like that. It's got a bit of room there now. I'll see what I do. Let me know what you think, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Watch this video here, and I'll put one behind me. Watch them both.